Subscribe for more. Full episodes released Wednesdays.
So, Doc, give me that 12-second elevator pitch. Give our listeners that 12-second elevator pitch.
Yeah, good on you. I love this. I love your challenges there. Okay, firstly, your body's intelligent. Your brain controls every single thing that happens in your body, okay, via the nervous system. That nervous system, unfortunately or fortunately, is encased within a mobile, movable vertebral column, while your brain is well protected by a immobile skull. The spinal column, being mobile, can't protect the spinal cord or the nerve roots as efficiently. So unfortunately, our posture, our falls, our life, our accidents, all of this can end up affecting our nervous system and the ability of the brain to communicate with the body due to the fact that it can cause dysfunctions, which we call subluxations in the spine. And chiropractors, thankfully, remove those blockages very efficiently, allow the brain to communicate with the body and heal itself. That was more than 12 seconds, but that's why condensed version.
I love it. I love it. I love our listeners to hear that from you, who's been around the world talking about chiropractic.
Yeah, and
Doc,
well, just to expand on that as well, this is really interesting that is not theory. It's not philosophy. That's fact.
yes.
We've
Yeah.
all fallen in our head and we didn't wake up brain damage.
Yeah.
But hey, we've fallen on our bottoms and then years or decades later found out that we had disc degeneration because we woke up with sciatic pain, for example. So we've got to recognize that the brain is obviously very intelligent. Any symptom that it causes is a reflex calling our attention to an underlying problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. And when people, this isn't once again conjecture, it is fact. So
Yes.
if we're understanding that when we choose to focus on our health, that we can actually choose a disease professional who's great at focusing at symptoms and making you feel better, okay, and diagnosing, or we can focus on a health professional focused on the true underlying cause of your symptoms or disease. Then
Mhm.
we can make good choices.
Yeah,
You know, that's
absolutely. Healing ourselves naturally from the inside out. Yeah.
exactly.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about your journey when you were, I think it's when you were in Brazil, you had your mercury fillings removed, your amalgams, and then you
Yeah.
got mercury toxicity.
Yes.
Wow. So was it a dentist who was not following the proper, like whatever you would call it, biofunctional process to protect you when those fillings were removed?
Yes, it was. It was my dentist. It was just here in Australia, actually, on a trip
It
back.
was.
And, you know, I have to take responsibility because I was trying to get these things removed fast while I was here. And the dentist had zero knowledge that there was a full procedure that you need and protocols you need to follow. And then I had severe toxicity after. I didn't relate it to the removal of the fillings. But to give you an idea, 0 to 6 is a tolerable level for mercury in the body. I was 600. 600.
Wow.
And the person, like the next worst case under me that the doctor I was dealing with had seen or heard of was a man who painted the Harbour Bridge at Sydney for 25 years and he was 250. So I was 600. And
Wow.
I was presenting a live program in Brazil, forgetting what I was saying halfway through a phrase. So I had clear signs that neurological, I guess, problems were occurring. I had chronic gastrointestinal problems, had candida off the charts, had all this stuff going on. So luckily I found out about the mercury toxicity and that wasn't easy to find out. And at the time I was treating one of my patients was the founder of functional medicine in Brazil. He was and probably still is Brazil's most published cardiologist. He studied at
Wow.
Harvard, got a job with Eli Lilly not long after graduating, and then basically turned on and just didn't want to continue in a system that was treating the effects of poor lifestyle choices in general. Okay, this
Mm.
is checking obviously, but so he's come back and he studied functional medicine in the States and brought that back to Brazil. So he invited me he not only helped me, but he invited me to study functional medicine with him and a group of specialists that he was teaching it to in Brazil. So
Wow.
thing in life, remember, we can turn a crisis into an opportunity. And with our health, especially if we're suffering, our body predominantly is giving us the opportunity to find the underlying cause and hopefully, if it's not too advanced, come back and be stronger than ever after it because of what we went through that experience. And that was most
Yeah.
definitely the case.
Wow.
Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast, would you please rate it, review it, like, or subscribe? You can find me on social media at watchyourwellness.com, Dr. Stephanie Wattier on Instagram, or Watch Your Wellness Chiropractic and Massage on Facebook. And I'm so curious where your next conversation will take you.